Alright, so we've got a chi-squared test going on here, and we're looking to see if this dice is biased. I'm going to test at the 5% level of significance. I'll just pop that down here. And we're wondering if the dice is fair or if it's biased. Okay, so the null hypothesis always drives how we work out the expected frequency. So the null hypothesis is that the die is fair, or we could actually write that the distribution follows a uniform one, right? So uniform means all numbers the same. Okay, so the first thing to do is add up how many trials we had here, and the number of trials when you get it in your calculator and add it up is actually 140. So it's not a nice number, but each of these is now 140 divided by 6. Okay, and once I put in 140 divided by 6 in all of these cells, the calculation needs to be done only 5 times, because now this final cell has to make everything add up to 140. Okay, does that make sense? So there's actually 5 free choices. We say there's 5 degrees of freedom. So that's basically the 6 cells to fill in, subtract the 1 which has to make it up to 140. So that's 5. So that's degrees of freedom. 6 minus 1 equals to 5. The alternative is that the die is not fair, as in it's biased. Or you can talk about how the distribution is not uniform. All right. Now, of course, that 140 divided by 6 doesn't actually round to a nice number. It's approximately 23.3. So you could use 23.3 all the way down here, and that'd be absolutely fine. But you could actually use 140 divided by 6. And so if we switch out to our calculator, I've already pre-populated it, so open a spreadsheet, and can you see we've got those nice numbers in now. And I actually just put 70 divided by 3 all the way down, just for the accuracy of it. So that's 140 divided by 6 simplified, and then in here, menu, statistical test, stat test, chi-squared goodness of fit. The observed is called O, the expected is called E, degrees of freedom is 5. Okay, so a big chi-squared score. The p-value is 0.0277, but notice the full number is down here. Just cancel that. And so 0.00277. Okay, 0.00277. So let's go back to our work. So the p-value is let me just get my pen working. 0.00277. 3 sig fig is good for most of the work we're doing. So the conclusion is that 0.00277 is less than the 5% significance level. And the understanding here is that this really is kind of a proxy and an approximation for how true is the null hypothesis. So very, 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 very unlikely to be true. But whenever it drops below this 5%, we say there's not enough evidence to hold on to it. Okay, so there's enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis. So the final bit, let me just move that thing here. So the final piece should be sufficient evidence to reject H0. So therefore, we conclude the die is biased.